Hello everyone. Let me just check if everything is working fine. Give me a second. Today yeah, it seems to be working fine. Yeah, today it's gonna be an update stream, so I'll just update you on a couple of things that happened. First of all, as you can see, new skin, new cape, the Minecraft with MCC event has ended, and people got their capes, both in Bedrock and in Java. I'm enjoying this one, especially in the form of the Elytra, so the Elytra texture is really nice. Not a huge fan of the Giant 15 there, so I think it would be a little better if it was just a red and gold cape with the golden crown. I think that would be like maybe the best cape when it comes to the recent ones, I guess. But still, new skin, and yeah, the Elytra texture is really nice in my opinion. I think it reminds me a little bit of the Sniffer. I know it's a crown, but it's kind of looks like a Sniffer's nose a little bit, right? Can you see it? Maybe it's just me. Right. I hope you got your cape as well. The MCC championship was, well, I guess MC championship. The event was really fun, for me at least. I enjoyed the minigames. I've never played the kind of proper version of the MCC. So these mini kind of light versions of the games, I found them really fun. I liked the race, probably my favorite one, and the addition of the castle is also nice, like a side quest. And I think the whatchamacallit, grid runners also, it was fun. I liked that there was no kind of PvP events. Not a huge fan of PvP, but this either just an event that was just for you, like the race. I guess you competed with other people, but it didn't matter at all. And the grid runners, of course, they were cooperative, not competitive. So yeah, I enjoyed them very much. I've also wanted to update you on the village that I'm working on. Also, people on the server are helping me immensely. So as you can see, I've added trees. Some of them are not grown yet, and some of them are already covered with snow. But it'll snow soon and the rest will get covered. I'm continuing to kind of clean up the area. So if I see grass like that, I break it, and when it snows, it'll get covered. So tidying up. Also, this building got an exterior and even some of the interior, the main things. This will be, or actually this is a guardhouse. So guards live here, have bunk beds, a nice fireplace, some tables and chairs for them to sit and maybe fill in some documents or do whatever they need to do when they are not needed as guards. This building I'm leaving as is. It was generated with the world as a part of the village that used to be here. I think I'll use it as... I was planning to use it as a tavern. Maybe it's a bit small for a tavern, right? It's kind of tiny, so not sure about that. Maybe a keeper, the keeper of the tavern, would live in a kind of fancy house like that. So maybe it's just a house where the tavern keeper lives. This house also got a roof. It's just a house, so it's a living space for someone. Also, I've been covering grass and stone here with layers of snow. Should add here as well, because of course it's covered, so it would never get snow coverage. We have a lot of townspeople. I'm not sure if I've talked about it last time, or if I did, I'm not sure there were as many. So these are all pacified. You do it by just making them shoot, and eventually the crossbows run out of durability. So these are all done by bombs. I think I did like 3, and 2 of them died. So these are all bombs, town people. They're all named, of course, because they are hostile. They would despawn otherwise. I think at some point we will use them as kind of well, people of this village. Not sure about... Well, we would restrict their movements, naturally. The giant party in this specific house, it looks like this should be pub, but initially I was planning this to be pub. Also started laying out the watchtower. I guess used. So I'm imagining it being used for kind of firewatch, and also it makes sense to have it up high to maybe hold water to be maybe delivered to everyone else via some sort of pipe system. Not sure yet. Yeah, so in general, just cleaning, working out on exteriors. That house also got an exterior. I kind of like it. It's different. I guess that's what I like about this house. It's a bit different. There is no interior yet, but I will probably add more details to that. So it's like a foundation. I want to lay out all the houses, roughly how they might look, and then change some details, refine them, make them make sense. I can also show you the updated map. Probably can update a little. Also, you can see new trees are being added, popping on the map. They will get covered in snow just naturally. I don't have to do it manually, luckily. It's getting dark, so let's sleep. Next on the agenda is... So I've misspelled the name for the trader pig, or the bartering pig. it was supposed to be gold pig, and there was a typo. I'm sure you've noticed it one of the previous streams. And I've corrected it since. I've noticed it only on the recording. And also there have been some changes to the farm. So added item frames. We are getting a steady flow of the items. Of course, the main one for us would be nether boards, because Chris has been working on the nether hub design, and there was some concerns maybe about using quartz, so since it's kind of an expensive material, and people were proposing using bone blocks instead, but I think quartz is nice. It's kind of a maybe I kind of want the nether hub to be a flex, I guess. So surely we can get enough quartz. It's been trading just with one piglin. I can probably just AFK with one. There is a nice AFK chamber here. Yeah, and we've been getting all the rest as usual, right? I've been using spectral arrows quite a lot. We have some obsidian. I've taken, I think, a couple stacks. And the pearls, iron nuggets, not sure why we would need them. I think maybe if you're in the nether and you don't really want to go into the overworld, it's a nice option for you. So you don't have to go to the overworld to get some iron if you're building some redstone contraption here in the nether, maybe on the nether roof. Soul sand, again, maybe for redstone, not sure. Maybe for paths, but then again, why would you use soul sand instead of soul soil? String as well, sure, why not? And potions and soul speed books as well. Probably should clean this up. It's a nice trick. I guess a trick. I'm sure you know this. So since the chests are less than a full block, right? They're smaller than a full block, and fire is not. Fire is, well, it's kind of as wide and as broad as a block, right? It's not a stall, but as wide and as broad. So you can open a chest. It works well with opening like this one. And you can just queue the items, and they hit the chest and fall down. And since the chest is not a full block, they would fall not on this block, but partly on this one. So they would get destroyed. It's just a nice quality of life thing. So we can just do that. I think Soul Speed 2 is also kind of relevant. Soul Speed 1 is not. But some people, I guess, prefer Soul Speed 2. So it's not as fast, or the field of view is changed not as much. But then, yeah, we have enough for the server, I guess. Yeah, so he's been just trading non-stop. Probably I should just, for the sake of everyone's sanity, show his name. It's Gold Pig, not anything else that I might have mistyped previously. And yeah, he has some gold still. It's a nice system. I really like the way it detects when to throw gold, just when he puts items into the hopper. That's what is triggering it. And let's fly up as well, and look at the changes. Oops, sorry, I can't fly today apparently. At the changes with the gold farm, it's a bit looking a bit janky at the moment, but that's not a problem. The farm is functional. That's the main thing. So I've added just a simple pulse generator or clock. So it just triggers pistons. So you would stand here and hit them. I guess it's a good idea to first fill your inventory with pretty much anything, so you don't pick the junk. And you can stand here and smash them, and the items get pushed and filtered. Right, like that. And now there will be a huge technical genius redstone life hack. So how do you stop the clock like that? Let's say hi to pumps. How do you stop a clock like that without pistons? It's like this. Genius technical redstone. Subscribe for more technical Minecraft. After that, you would just go down and collect the items. So currently they are stored in this crafter, and you can manually trigger it to craft blocks. I don't do that, I just take the gold. So why it is manual? It's because the crafter is filled like that, and you would get a block and you can craft it. But you can also by mistake craft a pressure plate. So I think that's the reasoning that Pomp explained. You can, I think you can look at the signal strength, but we don't actually need it. So I guess it would be fine to just store the ingots, since I would go here and put the ingots in. So that's what's been going on with the farm. So you can just put a lot of gold there and stand here, AFK. You can also AFK up above with an auto clicker, and you'd get gold while the guy is trading, or bartering, I should say. Okay. I really want to show the thing me and Bombs did. I'll give you some context beforehand, and I'll fix it later, I guess. So it all started with me needing rockets, apparently. 1 second. I guess a couple of stacks couldn't hurt. Okay. It all started here. Hey, Bombs. So you might, if you see this area a lot, you might find that there are shulker shells lying on the ground sometimes, about here. That's because we have a shulker farm up above. So that's the iron farm, that's the shulker farm, and that's the trading area for the advancement. So this is the shulker farm, so we can have a look. I have a lot of, well, it's full. So anyway, when we were, well, actually, Bombs was building the farm. Of course, you need shulkers to start it. So we've transferred some shulkers there. And we had some spare ones, and we decided not to kill them just in case. It's nice to have shulkers on hand in case something goes wrong, and something did go wrong. So yeah, anyways, we've put one shulker, or maybe two, I think one shulker in a boat underneath Zaka's base, which is really nice. It's a nice kind of medieval town, I guess, or village, with a wall, and each building is different, so it's a nice thing. Zaka found out, so we put the shulker. I guess he had it. It was underground, so it was not a problem, I think. At least not a big problem, just here. I think it was even outside his walls. And he didn't like it, so he decided to prank me by putting a lot of chickens in my base, which is a nice kind of non-destructing, easy to clean prank. So because of that, I've kind of pranked him back with that monstrosity. So it's of course, a shulker box. And Bombs helped me to make it even better. Actually, I think it's partially Bomb's idea, because I was about to just put a couple shulkers into his base and make them duplicate. But yeah, it might be kind of tedious or even lethal to clean up, so it wasn't a good idea. It's kind of... It sounded fun in my head, but it probably would have been mean. Yeah. Also, there was this prank of slimes choosing Zaka as their slime king, and we've filled the whole city with statues of slimes and slime heads. Not real slimes, so no kind of no damage in that regard. So you couldn't take damage from the slimes we've used, right? They were just like these ones. I guess Zaka decided to let them stay here. So these are just player heads. But yeah, I've called him the Slime King, because obviously he has a, I guess not a kingdom, but it feels like a medieval town in which you would be maybe like a king. So anyway, we've added this nice, handsome looking shulker box. And we've added custom sounds to it. So hopefully, well, I know Zaka doesn't watch my streams, so I think it's safe. Hopefully he would stand on the pressure plates, and I'll show you the effects just for the memory's sake, so it stays. I'm afraid Zaka would probably remove this, so I want to preserve it for the future generations. Right, so I will step on the pressure plates and put it back later. So let's do it. Right, let's put it back. Yeah, otherwise it's infinite, right? I think I will destroy the pressure plates first. Do it the smart way. And then reposition everything as it was. Oh, game sounds too quiet. Sure. Yeah, let's the jukebox. I can just increase volume. Yeah, let's do it again. Yeah, Zaka, glory to the Slime King. Thanks, Bombs. Yeah, let's put these blocks back. They serve the only purpose of making it look like there is a piston door, so it's enticing to step on the pressure plates. And the moss here, moss carpet, there are holes underneath and signs holding the carpet so that the mobs don't walk around and step on the plates. Bombs, if you want, we can join the voice chat. It's kind of unusual for me to talk and for you not to. Usually it's the other way around. Just let me know if you're up for it. Give me a minute. Oh, yeah. I'll quickly put it on hold. Be right back. Okay. As soon as you're ready. Yeah, this server, at least the spawn area, looks nice. There are some projects in progress and some that are completed. So there was one thing that I wanted to talk about. It was about the this building, which is Arcos's base. So I've been thinking about the way people build, just in general, in Minecraft, and sometimes it's purely functional, sometimes it's purely aesthetic, sometimes it's a mix. I think usually it's a mix. This kind of building and similar ones to this one, I think they have a quality of looking like a building that could exist in real life. It looks kind of architectural. Whereas some other buildings, like of course the farms, don't look like something that would be done in real life. I think this starter house as well. like there are, obviously it's a house, right? You can see it, you can recognize it as a house anytime. It looks nice in game. I think it doesn't try to look like a real life house. It doesn't try to kind of mirror what people do in real life to the same extent Arcos' one does. I think my starter house also doesn't look anything like something that you would do in real life. It's done purely for Minecraft. Audio fixed. Excellent. Let me try joining VC.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I can also hear the stream, so I can hear myself, or at least I could just a minute ago.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Oh, duh. Of course. Yeah, sure.
Is it recording?
Yeah, I think.
Check.
Yeah, it shows when you talk. It shows as this for me.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can check, that would be nice.
Okay, yeah, looks like it's working.
Right. So yeah, I was talking about architecture. So my starter house doesn't look like a house in real life. It kind of it's like a symbol of a house, right? It's not something that you would see in real life. But that building, the Tomb Exchange, like to me, it like hits the spot. It looks architectural. It looks like there are structures that are supporting. There are beams, and it's kind of it's not random. The proportions are nice. It looks like something that would be possible in
Yeah,
real
I think
life.
it's like to do with like if it's something that you might see like an architect or an engineer actually design.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like, and you've thought about the way that things rest on top of each other.
Yes. I think it's like tectonics or tectonics in architecture it's called. So it looks like it can support the weight, or even it looks maybe heavier or lighter than it is. So like if you look at like a Gothic cathedral, it doesn't look really heavy. It looks kind of light because of all the statues and all that stuff. Yeah, I guess
That makes sense.
maybe that pillar is a bit. I think it's necessary here to have this feeling of support, but or to even separate space. But yeah, it's at the same time it's a bit kind of right. But yeah, so that
It's a bit like
Hmm?
Go on. You go first.
Yeah, I was talking about this kind of feeling of like having support of the structure and building like something that you would see in real life is something that I want to be able to achieve easily when I'm building.
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
So I will say, I mean, it's almost similar in a way, but the way that Oliver builds a house in his series
Mhm.
is like he immediately goes for there needs to be flat walls, and then between them there needs to be supporting pillars. Like in his very first house, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that. But once he starts thinking about what he's building, he is very quick to start doing this kind of like, how would this work in real life?
Yeah, I like so I try to avoid kind of having a flat wall and the pillar is within the wall, right? Or I always try to have some kind of depth, and pillars are are a way of creating that depth, right? So you can go there.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because in sort of modern architecture, it isn't like that. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of modern architecture is about the big shapes rather than actually the detail, which I don't know. I don't know whether that has like an impact. Come to think about it, understand or conceptualize building houses in Minecraft.
sure. I think a lot of examples of modern architecture are kind of flat in, like, well, of course on purpose, but it seems like the classical elements of a building nowadays are, well, first of all, I guess you don't really need them anymore because the materials have changed, and
Yes.
they're
Small buildings, just small buildings.
yeah, of course, but yeah, there used to be a period of time where people would create those elements as kind of simulacras, like as they were trying to have that aesthetic without giving the function to those elements, so they were just
Yes.
decorations. But then it feels kind of not really genuine, so maybe that's why we are moving away from it. So if you don't need it, don't do it, right? That's probably the motivation behind the simplistic buildings nowadays. But then again,
Sure.
you,
I mean, I think that's the thing about the art more widely. Right?
yeah,
We're moving away from make a detailed picture of the thing you want to depict, and moving towards this like idea of how do we distill the meaning of the
yeah,
thing.
it's like
The impressive part is not the
with Apple, for example, in and their interfaces, they decided not to use textures like they did previously. Like the button doesn't have to look like like a physical button, right? Or
yes.
if you're, um, I
I
don't
mean,
know,
if
like,
it's a product or something that's being made for the first time, then
yeah, you need to
needing
teach
to
people,
be
yeah,
able to connect.
yeah,
But as people get familiar,
yeah.
lose some of that.
But then again, I think it's like a seesaw where it's kind of people always oscillate between two extremes. Like you have this pure functionality and no textures and symbols and the flatness, etc. But then you can actually go back to using like analog buttons or something like that, and that becomes um, the trend, right? It's pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah,
the same that happened to vinyl, right? You can have lossless audio nowadays. You don't need vinyl. It doesn't sound better than lossless audio, right? You can have the perfect recreation, assuming you have a like nice audio system. You can have, yeah, but then with vinyl you would also need a speaker, so that's not
that's true. That's true.
that's not a thing that decides. So with vinyl, it's a physical media, so it kind of gets scratched and there is dust that you need to clean and etc. But I'm sure at some point it was the media, right, to have the best quality audio rather than like magnetic tapes, something like that. But nowadays it's just everything is digital, so let me have vinyl because it's not digital, so it's something unusual, right? People want something unusual because it's interesting.
Definitely. Sure. I can agree with that.
And I think it also kind of ties back to the architecture, right? So if I actually have a nice example of it. I'm not sure if I can show it, but that would require me to leave the server for just a moment. One of the buildings that I've done, and I really liked it at that time. I think I still like it, maybe a bit in a different way. I should probably do it. It's a nice building, just to kind of illustrate the point.
Sure.
It was in season 2. So in season 2, we had the kind of the main area, and then we moved to a secondary area because of just I guess buildings got completed and we needed something to do, but also I think there was an update that needed some new world generation. So
Yes.
because I remember that the hermits, they did the same. And we did it first, and I found it funny that it's kind of
They copied.
yeah.
I think it was 114. And then the new villages.
Maybe maybe.
That was kind of the first time people considered making new districts.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was when Hermit started.
I used to like this idea that there is a world border and it will get expanded when the world updates, so you're preserving the chunks basically for the future. It was a kind of a cozy idea.
What's your thoughts on the chunk interpolation? Like the thing that they do when you upgrade a world to a new version, where they
soften the borders.
Yeah, soft borders. Like interpolate between the two terrain types.
I think it's I would say it's necessary.
Okay.
So because previously we had this kind of weird lines along the border edges where like you have a mountain on one side that abruptly ends and you have a lake or something like that on the other side, and you would have to do it manually, right? You would still go there and you would kind of fix the terrain. I was talking about this house. So it's I was kind of tired of building along the axis of the game, right? So usually you have walls that run along the, let's say, x-axis or something like that. So I was trying to move away from it, especially because previously I had this very geometric base, even in this season. So I decided to kind of to make a crooked, half diagonal, random house that vertically and horizontally it's tilted, I guess. But then for it to still look like something, it still looks like a house, but it's kind of messy. It's a fun experiment. I used to really like it. I thought, that's the style. That's what I want to build, because everything else is very much square, right? And that doesn't look square, even though of course it is. But, it doesn't look like square. And there is this nice kind of very much straight and symmetrical lighthouse behind it to even kind of emphasize the contrast.
I wonder whether the intrigue of a diagonal building in Minecraft actually inherent to the game, or whether it's a result of the fact that we've played a lot of Minecraft to expect that houses are not straight.
I think maybe it's, well, the game implies it, right? So you would get kind of bored of the limits. That's so the game doesn't limit you to build kind of orthogonally, I guess. It at some point, I think most players would try to break the limit. So that's the geometric base, right? It's kind of symmetrical. I tried to break the symmetry with blocks missing, and it's kind of ruined, and you have different buildings on each side. But in general, as a concept, it's geometric and it's kind of symmetrical. But then, yeah, I think most people build that way. So even I got back here and build this village. It's also, there is a lot of symmetry and geometry here, but then there are houses like this one, which I guess it's also symmetrical. But then maybe with texturing I was trying to, or with the wall that is not like a perfectly round wall, I was trying to kind of break it. Right. So I guess it's always, I know that stuff look nice in Minecraft. That's like a, if you want to make it geometric, make it complex, yeah, it's a safe net. But oh, I have exactly 100 levels. I didn't pay attention to that. Well, the gold farm is an excellent source of XP. Or just an XP books.
Have you seen I don't know if you watch YouTubers like Simply Stark?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, he makes videos where he talks about the way Minecraft features are implemented and the way you can change it.
Mhm.
And he recently made a video talking about that he thinks experience is no longer a necessary part of the game.
I remember. Yeah. It was, or maybe it wasn't his video. Sorry, but I saw a video about the kind of farm you would build with the slime potions and silverfish.
Oh, there's an easier one.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I've just stumbled upon a video about that kind of. Well, it's not a bug; it's a feature, right? But
Sure.
it was kind of mentioning that experience is no longer a kind of an important part of Minecraft for the developers. That's why they allow such things to be implemented into the game. But I'm not sure. Yeah. I think. Well, with the video I watched about this kind of strange behavior that you can abuse to get a lot of XP, I think it's not really better than like an ender render, right? Because an ender render would produce so much XP that a player couldn't even absorb it.
You
Right.
can do that with those kinds of tools.
Yeah, but that's like there is a limit, and the limit was reached a long time ago, and it didn't break the game, right? So there is no kind of new problem in that regard.
Should I be able to rename items freely or put enchanted books onto things I want to use freely? Like the cost is in getting the enchanted book and in enchanting
Makes
something
sense.
in an enchanting table using lapis, not actually getting the XP.
Sure,
So
yeah.
should we have XP at all? Like we would get rid of it and just have that be the end result.
But then I think there also is a large part of the Minecraft community that are that consists of players who are very much casual players. Like they open the game and they earn experience, and the experience for them, I think, is a way for the game to guide them in the right direction. So the game kind of gives you rewards for doing certain actions, right? For killing mobs. So it encourages you to kill certain mobs. Like you don't. Do you get experience from killing dolphins, for example?
You do. Yes.
Oh.
Although
Yeah,
it's,
sure.
it's less than other ones.
Yeah, or maybe some other mobs do not drop experience. Not sure. So
They probably should.
yeah, I would argue that killing cats
Like
or
if you kill a baby villager, kill a villager.
yeah, so it's like a way for the game to distinguish between useful actions and not so useful actions. Or maybe if you mine stone, it's like your it's not something that needs encouragement, but mining coal is right. You need to
Like getting
yeah, the value of iron is, I think, immediately understandable to new players, but coal, when you mine coal and get XP, that's. But then again, it ties to the idea that you can get XP from furnaces, from smelting stuff. So it's a way to explain that mechanic. Yeah, so I think.
And that's true.
Yeah.
One thing is there's a really underused Minecraft mechanic, which is basically certain advancements give experience directly.
Ah, yeah. Maybe that should be used more to encourage people.
Yeah, used in very few. I don't know how many. It's like I think it's less than 20 of the 100-something advancements.
But yeah, then again, do we need it?
I mean, but if the argument was that XP is a way to guide players,
yeah, then advancements should pretty much all give you XP. But then, yeah, maybe there should be some.
It gives me something to seek them out, right? At the moment, I
Yeah.
can all tick the box.
Yeah. I think there might be some other use for experience, like maybe higher levels. At higher levels, you get like buffs or something like that. Like you would expect from higher levels. Like if you see that you're progressing and you get a level up, you kind of expect your character to become like stronger or faster.
What if we had it as something like enchantment on a tool that uses up experience faster than like crafting?
Using
then there's an incentive
to keep gaining experience. Yeah, that's a nice idea. To maybe not to repair it, but to give you some perk, right? Like fire aspect, for example, or something like that would only work if you have experience. And then enchanting with experience makes sense, because otherwise it's a strange thing that you spend experience on enchanting. That's unique to Minecraft, I think.
I don't know. Would experience for crafting items make any sense, or is that just far too constant? I don't know. Maybe like smithing rather than crafting. So to use smithing templates, you need to burn some XP.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Adding more features that use XP solve the problem. XP is easy to get, but
I think that it might solve the problem of we don't really need XP, right? So maybe if experience was a price for something else rather than enchanting, because yeah, I guess if you are
when you enchant your gear once and then never again.
If you're an experienced player, yeah, it's like you wouldn't even enchant, right? If you know what you're doing, you wouldn't even enchant your tools. You would just put books on them, and you wouldn't enchant books. You would buy books, right? So you don't really need enchanted. So I would argue that maybe people who are that would sound kind of gatekeepish, but if you're an experienced player, you don't enchant, right?
I mean, I think that's fine. I think Minecraft should in general be harder. It should be more expensive to do things like enchanting, because once you hit the you've maxed out your tools, you've hit it, right? There's no discussion of what tools do I use. I don't know. Maybe there's a small discussion of do I wear blast protection armor when I'm mining for engineering, something like that.
Yeah, but in general, it's you get it once and that's it. Even if you die, it's easy to get it. Like with the setup we have, right? I think it's stuff that most people do. We have these villagers, and we have ways of getting emeralds really quickly. For example, this iron farm that's in the sky. We have a lot of iron. We will never run out of it because the farm is like too efficient. We also have here pumpkin and melon farm that also just runs always. I think the minecart is stuck, or is it unloading? It's unloading. Yeah.
If it's stopped in the stop station, then that's because it's full.
Yeah, it's unloaded. Yeah, it has no space to unload pumpkins. So it's that efficient, right? And you just sell it, and you get infinite emeralds, and you get diamond armor from the guys, and you get books from the guys below, and you're set, right? It's, I guess, in that regard, when you first make your suit and you first, and maybe a backup suit, and your tools and weapons, you need a lot of XP then.
Yeah.
And it was a bottleneck in the beginning of the season.
Sure, but not for very long.
Yeah, as soon as we have any kind of XP farm, like even not XP, right? We have a gold farm that serves as an XP farm, so I can go there and get 100 levels easy, even AFK 100 levels, and on top of that a lot of gold and potential bartering loot.
So here's something I don't know if you've noticed, but when you use an anvil, the cost gets higher, even if you, like, it's more costly to put 4 protection 1 books to get, what is that, protection 3 on a piece of armor, than it is to get just 1 protection 4 book and put it on that piece of armor.
Yeah. It's,
that's because every time you run an item through an anvil, it becomes more expensive.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice way of kind of acting against our way of abusing the game. But then, yeah, it doesn't last for a long time. As soon as we have an XP farm, it's resolved forever.
So there's a secondary mechanic related to that, which basically says that when you get past 30 levels, you can't use the anvil.
Yeah, but surely you can have maxed out gear by that point, or long before that point.
Not easily. So if you use just level 1 books, you won't be able to, for example, put together something like a helmet.
Oh yeah, sure. If you're
books, you'll never be able to do it.
So that's actually, the game encourages you not to combine books, so not to even enchant, probably, because you would have to combine books if you just enchant books. So like it kind of encourages you to have a trading hall with villagers, and you would buy books with high level enchants.
What do you think of the new villager trading changes, if you know what they are?
I think we've mentioned it once. I haven't looked at it since. Can you?
Do you have an idea of the gist?
Yeah, well, could you remind me?
Okay, so instead of, you use 1 lectern on 1 villager and you can get every possible book, it's
yeah.
you can only get 1 type of enchanted book in each biome.
Yeah, biome dependent. Yeah. I think it might be. I think it is fun. So I think the thing I said last time you've mentioned this system is that if and I think it is the case, if the villager then keeps the trades, even if you move the villager permanently to a different biome, I think that's a fun mechanic, because you would have to explore the world before you get all the nice gear, right?
Yes.
So again, I think anything that kind of makes the early game longer, like that's a separate discussion about what should be considered early game, or if there is such a thing as mid game. But if you can prolong the early game, I think it's nice, because it's kind of, if you have everything, what do you even do, right? It's always this question. So you come up with some projects that are maybe just for fun, right? So you don't basically need anything. You have infinite food, infinite basically armor. A lot of resources are automated. We have this nice bone block farm, etc., right?
Sure.
So what do? You just make D&D villages, um, or hunt advancements. So you set goals for yourself, and that's also a big part of the game, being able to kind of set goals for yourself and make them fun, or kind of draw fun to yourself, not be provided with fun on like
Sure.
a silver plate.
I mean, I think that's one of the really big discussion points. Lots of people say, oh, I mean, most of the Minecraft community agrees that there's certain problems with the way the game is structured and the way that we sort of separate early and late game and the motivations it puts time. But I think there's definitely two different ways of thinking about, how should we make the game. And one of them is like Mojang should be building experiences for the player, like the trial chamber, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They should just add features to the game where you find them when you're just traveling around. And the result of that is, you're kind of, it's a bit like most conventional video games where you go out and you sort of find that part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's also another wing of people, or another group of people says that, the game should be designed to, not be prescriptivist, so not, say what should be in the game, like what experiences the player should have, and that kind of some part of Minecraft is integral to the fact that we're sort of individually creating and exploring a Minecraft world.
Yeah.
The result of that should be that we should give the player opportunities rather than, explicitly.
I think, the kind of core feature of Minecraft is that it's a sandbox game, right? It's not an adventure, right? It's not a dungeon crawler or anything like that. It's a sandbox, so you can do whatever you want, and it has always been the case since like the very first versions, like pre-alpha. And I think that getting rid of it would be kind of lying to the game, or
Yeah, I think
even
it's
unjust.
It's rejecting the way that the game is designed and thought up.
Yeah, because out of the fact that we are free to do whatever we want, at some point, at a certain point when you have all the basics covered, right? Out of that freedom comes a plethora of wonderful projects, like I'm flying through the tunnel that was dug by the first tunnel bore, and like it's not something that the game prompts me to do, right? Building a tunnel bore that can dig like thousands of blocks, and now we have the second tunnel bore that like 5 times, yeah, 5 times as large, but has the same potential speed, right? Surely it's slower in the sense that we would run and collect items, but yeah.
Yeah.
And surely we don't need 7 double chests of diamond ore, but and this but is something that I value in the game, so I can set this goal for myself.
Sure. I mean, what is your opinion on making it so that TNT duping or something like that requires a specific hard to obtain thing? So it's not as if there's no options for doing these kinds of things, these kind of game bending / game altering.
Yeah.
Like redstone or design or whatever, but it's not easy to do. For example, the mace. I feel like that's a kind of alright example. Like, you can use the mace to kill really hard mobs and do things that are really cool, like you can kill the warden in one shot.
Yeah, but it's difficult to get. Yeah. I get.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, we were discussing the way the wind burst works, right?
Yeah. I think. Do you remember the wonderful time in Minecraft history when you could remove bedrock using dragon eggs?
Yes.
I think that's a nice example, because it used to be a case, right? Like you need a difficult to obtain or even unique item that's bending the game a little. So I think that's it would work nice, then again, TNT duping is a mechanic that people who are into technical Minecraft would use, right?
Do you think that substituting TNT duping for dispensers with TNT is a viable solution?
I think, well, it depends on the project, but I like that.
Is it a big good alternative?
Not sure. So I like that TNT duping is in the game, because again we can have tunnel so it gives you another branch of projects to take on, right? It's not something that necessarily breaks the game. It just gives you a project to make, because if we didn't have it, right, we surely we would still have a lot of diamonds or ores or whatever, right? We have or stone, right? So some people use TNT duping to create tunnel bores to get stone if they need it. But then surely we can have just a stone generator and you can AFK.
Yes.
And maybe make a machine that splashes you with bottles of enchantment.
So there's two different things here that I think we should touch on. The first one is there's something called a world eater, which is slightly different to something called a quarry, which is slightly different to something called a world. The world eater destroys all the blocks with TNT dupers, but the quarry sort of uses flying machines to pick up the blocks and funnels them to either a player or a TNT duping one, and then collects the items.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of wonder if you removed TNT duping, would people have invested more energy into making quarries?
I see.
At the moment, they're a very technical build because nobody's really invested the time into making something this simple.
Yeah, I guess from that perspective, you don't need, you're not required to have TNT duping in the game for people to build technical projects. Yeah, you're right. Then these kind of mechanics, like at some point, I think it was season 2 as well, people discovered just duping in general.
Duping items.
Yeah. I don't really remember how it worked, but
it was either it may have been donkeys at the time. That was one common one, or you could do it using overloading of chunks, which you could do up to 150.
Don't remember. I don't think it was donkeys. Maybe chunk overloading with books.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I remember just visiting Zaku's base, and he just had this duper outside, not covered, not anything, and it was filled with diamond blocks, just double chests upon double chests of diamond blocks. I'm sure, for him, I'm sure it was so much fun to build and to have, and just to have this kind of knowledge that I am super rich. Like I will not buy that. I will burn that. Sorry?
Is that why Koaland came about?
Oh no, Koala Coin. We've discussed.
What was the ethos?
So we've discussed it. We had discussed it before the start of the season. That it would be fun to have a currency, and I think Papa created the resource pack for it. And yeah, it was just we weren't sure about the economy. It felt like diamonds are a bad currency, because again, by the
whoever invests the most time into the world is the one who can just buy whatever they want, right?
But by the end of the season, we would have, like, everyone would have a lot of diamonds. So selling anything, it's like I don't want to sell anything because I don't need diamonds. right? Even if I put, I don't even want to set up an enormous price because I don't need diamonds, full stop, right? And
Sure.
probably I don't even need items because I have everything because of farms. But yeah, it was just an attempt to get away from diamonds. I think it was fun. But yeah, then it doesn't resolve this kind of inflation problem because again, there was a set amount of coins. So that was the idea. So they wouldn't lose value because you cannot just go and mine them. So each player was given some amount of coins, and that was supposed to be it.
Sure.
I think some players joined mid-season, so we've decided to give them their share of coins. It seemed fair. But
I
then,
think I was set, even though I didn't join.
yeah, it was just if you show interest, if it's possible that you join and play, you were rewarded with coins basically. And I think in that sense, to people who joined mid-season, it was kind of a little boost because they would have been behind everyone else otherwise, but then they got just a lot of money and they could buy enchanted books, gear, and whatever they wanted. But then also we had custom villagers. So not the gem villagers who were also added, but then just the custom shops, custom villagers with shops selling custom items. And I think it's a nice thing as well because people, maybe not all people, but in general, I think it's fair to say that people want unique items.
What do you think of the permit system that they put on Hermitcraft?
I'm not sure. I think it works nice for YouTube, for content creators. I'm not
It's
sure.
definitely been a content machine, but I'm wondering at it from a micro as a player, rather than as the.
Well, this season we don't even have shops, right? No one sells anything, and it's kind of as you call it, socialism, because farms are public. Everyone could just even this tunnel bore. I think you wouldn't mind if people came down and used it. And I think it's a nice approach. It kind of makes the game a bit smoother, the game experience smoother, but then it kind of also it's nice to have these things to do, right? Like you log on to the game and you think, oh, I'm running this shop, I need to restock, yeah, to get my money from the shop. I need to maybe rebuild it, so now I have resources, I can make a nicer building, I can make a redstone contraption to get my money, to maybe filter stuff if people are trying to pay with sticks or stuff like that. So
Yes.
it just provides you an opportunity to do this project.
Fair enough.
So
I mean, it definitely gives players a motivation to do specific things, and like makes it very clear what you can do. Like,
yeah,
if you're out of ideas.
yeah. So that's kind of the perspective I was taking on the game lately. So how can I make it so that there are clear things to do? Because that's one of the issues I think with Minecraft that can happen, that you just feel like you're burnt out, you have everything, you don't need to do anything else. Even if you want to do something, it's not clear what to do because again it's a sandbox and you can do everything, and when you can do everything, it's not clear what to do. Again,
The knife definitely cuts both ways on that.
yeah, it's the same as with TND. if I say something like, "Oh, you are in the world. What do you do?" Right? It's difficult for you as a player to say anything. But if I say something like, "You are in a small dark room, and you hear someone knocking on the window from the outside. What do you do?" Then you suddenly have something to do. Like maybe check the window, try to find this light switch or something like that. So in that regard, maybe limits is the answer. So if you limit people, again, I'm trying to get back to the permits, right? If you limit people, it creates this kind of sense of you know exactly what you need to do, and on top of that, you can like trade with other people for permits, or you can threaten other people, as Dog demonstrated, or there could be wars or alliances. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think from that perspective of like a content creator or just a person who wants to have a more saturated experience, it makes sense to have limitations like permits.
Yes.
I think it's fun. It's a nice question. Well done, Bob. It's a nice topic to discuss. I like it.
Sure. It's definitely an interesting one.
Yeah.
And definitely one that's like everyone who plays Minecraft has to think about. I don't think. Well, if you don't play single player, obviously.
Yeah. Sure. It's kind of the same. Like with bases, we've accepted that this is the thing to do, right? Building a base, setting up a storage system or stuff like that, decorating nether portals by the end of the season. So it's not something that the game dictates, right? It's something that we accepted, probably inspired by the Hermitcraft community. So of course people would have bases, right? It's natural for us to think so. But yeah, you could have just a bunch of chests in the middle of nowhere, or just a fence around an area that is lit up. But it's fun to build a base.
Funny idea.
Yeah, baseless season.
I wonder if you could run like a tournament or something. Take groups of people, like you invite teams of people who know each other, and they have to try and come up with the most unique or different way to play Minecraft, and then they all judge each other in the end.
Huh. But then, yeah, it kind of, even that contest implies some limitations, because what do you consider playing Minecraft? Is playing Minecraft progressing through the advancement, or just moving to the death of the Ender Dragon? Or you could say that playing Minecraft is just having Minecraft open and sipping tea. So what's the dividing line? There may have been an internet hiccup on Bomb's part.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I thought so. Yeah. So I was talking about the the challenge, right, of playing Minecraft the most unique way. So what's considered playing Minecraft? Is it going to the end and killing the dragon, or collecting advancements, or just having Minecraft open and sipping tea? So you need to have some line of dividing line.
Yeah, I think you could. It's the last of those. You could just say the minimum standard is you have the game open. Then obviously people won't vote for the person who.
That's a nice dividing line. Yeah.
Tea, right?
Yeah. So the dividing line would be, it has to be enjoyable for people to watch or to judge. Judges should.
I mean, people won't vote number one on the one where they go put Minecraft in the background and go play Fortnite, right?
Yeah. I think everyone has this kind of inner feeling of, yeah, that's playing. So you don't have to define it, because everyone can understand it. Yeah. What would be a unique way? Can you come up on the spot with one?
One where instead the very first thing you do is you go to a mountain biome and just start digging around with wooden and stone pickaxes to find an ancient city.
That would be
Like,
fun.
you just go explore the hardest dungeons the game has to offer.
I think one kind of unique way. I think it maybe not unique. It's similar to just Skyblock, but collecting some items for a set amount of time, and then going to the end, and then trying to kind of play in the end from the end. Maybe
That's actually a really
even
cool idea. I like that.
without killing the dragon, so you can't go back. So
Sure.
and then it kind of makes you think, okay, what would I take with me, right? Probably like some dirt, right? Because I can't get dirt, and I want to grow stuff, some saplings, and maybe some crops for food, stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's kind of maybe eggs, so I can have a chicken farm, because probably I wouldn't be able to deal with other animals. But yeah, so it's just fun to. It's like those thought experiments where you think, what would be the 4 things I take with me on an island, right?
Yeah.
As soon as people say 4, it becomes interesting, right? As soon as there is a limitation, because if I say, what are the things you would take with you on the island, it's not that interesting to think about. I can take like a chair with me, a nice rocking chair, maybe my house, right? Something like that. But if I say you have 4 things and they have to fit in your pockets, what would you take? Like that's interesting, because there is a limitation, and it provides you with an opportunity to show creativity. And you would probably come up with some, after like hours and hours of thinking, you would come up with some genius plan, and exactly 4 items fit that plan.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, yeah, I mean that works for a little while until it's known what the best 4 items, what the most
Yeah,
valuable items are, and then nobody does anything except for those 4, right?
yeah. If you know the strat, it's not that. It's like you're just a robot now. You're just following the instructions.
Yep.
The fun bit is to come up. That's why I think probably. So I'll delve a little bit into the way I got into Minecraft, to provide some context, and then compare that experience with the one Oliver had. So first of all, I've watched a bunch of videos of a person playing 1.2.5 pre-release, and like they immediately started the series with kind of this approach that maybe people who haven't played the game would watch it, right? So it kind of,
Sure.
since it was
Beginner's guide.
kind of, yeah, it wasn't labeled as such, but essentially it was a beginner's guide, and probably that's kind of why I decided to start playing, because it was kind of an invitation, right? It's not just someone playing the game; it's an invitation. And people, if I just start playing a new game that you haven't seen, and I give you like a sneak peek at, oh, you should do that, this and that, and this is the best strat, and don't fall for that. That this is a mistake, or this is a trap. Don't fall for it. You suddenly feel like, oh, okay, I have some useful knowledge about this strange world, and you want to apply the knowledge, right? That's how it works.
Sure. I mean, it makes the game approachable, right?
Yeah. And so immediately, I think in the first episode, I knew about using water as an elevator. I knew about the first steps you should do in the game, and yeah, like all this little stuff. Like I knew how to best place the door, something like that. Probably not best. So I still think that one of the coolest ways to place the door is to place it so that it's basically the game thinks it's open, but it's closed for you, right? Technically, it would be
Sure.
open, but physically, it would close the passage. So
What makes it zombie unbreakable, right?
yeah, yeah, that's the point. So, but then the problem is I always use pressure plates because I don't want to just click on the door to close it behind me. So I use pressure plates on the inside of the house. So that's kind of breaks it. But maybe I could just invert the signal or something like that. So it's fixable. But then I knew that before I ever played the game. Or I knew that immediately. I think I knew that you shouldn't look at the Enderman unless you want it to aggro. And watching Oliver is like such a different experience because there are things that I knew before I played the game, and with the years, they kind of became natural. They were natural from the very beginning, and they became things that I no longer question. Right? It's like brewing, right? It's not explained in the game if you play Java. It's really strange the way it works, but kind of I would never question it just because it's so familiar. So yeah, that's the comparison, and yeah. I remember that I wanted to make this comparison. I don't remember why. Um,
That's okay.
yeah, it was
Yeah, I mean,
to answer the
it's
question.
definitely interesting. Yeah, sure. I think it's interesting to sort of understand how ingrained things are. Like, I don't have any good recollection of how I got, the Minecraft behaviors that I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I could attribute it to a thing a single person did. Like, particularly because Minecraft was just something that I didn't play, but I knew about colloquially when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the kind of thing where it was talked about in the schoolyard or whatever. I would hear about it, and you'd hear these information transmitted, and some of it's like obviously fake,
Yeah.
conspiracy theories or whatever.
Herobrine.
Some of it was like, yeah, sure. I mean, maybe one of the sources was there's the Mojang Minecraft books. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, like how to build a city or something like that. They have those guidebooks.
Yeah. Those kind of. There's also lots of non-official ones.
Yeah.
Like make money by but I read a lot of those. Those were given to me as like presents. So I think maybe I got some of my information from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much you can do that. Like when you look at one of those guidebooks, I think I have a few memories of like recollections of seeing something in one of those books and going, let me go build that, and then I would try and build it in survival and fail.
Yeah,
Who
but
am I kidding?
yeah. I think with those, well, first of all, I like kind of printed, I wouldn't call it merch, maybe paraphernalia. So when something that doesn't need anything printed has something printed, I kind of like this. Like I think I've told maybe on Discord about it that I used to have, maybe I have it somewhere, a copy of this game, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and it came with the map of Hogwarts, like the in-game map, because of course Hogwarts isn't really mappable. It's different one from the movies. At least it's different every movie. But in game, sure, you can map it, and it's a useful item, right? You can use it while playing the game, but it's also a kind of physical piece of paper, a poster that you can fold, and it's just something nice to have. Or also, it came with like a poster of the Dumbledore's army, like them standing together. So I think it's nice, and with Minecraft, I think it's nice to have these books just as a kind of, they have talismanic value, I think, more than just teaching value. Because again, even with those like Harry Potter related items, like I had I think non-official book about the Fantastic Beasts long before the movie came out. I think even before all the books came out, and it has some information about Fantastic Beasts, but then it's full of outdated material that's no longer either no longer relevant or blatantly no longer true because of some new stuff that came out. And with Minecraft, I think also it constantly is it is constantly updated, so a lot of stuff gets outdated, but then maybe with building maybe there are some guides, right? Not building guides, but how to play the game. Maybe some strats in the book. They would become outdated really fast, I think. But then again, such books, especially from if they are like official from Mojang, they shouldn't give you the best options, I think. But they should tell you like, oh, have you considered using different kinds of wood together to create texture rather than to show that they are different woods, right? They show you this idea, they kind of present you with this general information, and then they give you an example of how it can be applied, and then you apply it better or something like that. But then some struts definitely become outdated.
Do you think there's a particularly big market for like books that not just like tell you what is possible in Minecraft, but try to teach you things? Do you think there's a market for that, like a textbook? I don't know if that's really what I mean by textbook. Maybe you get the gist of what I mean.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean, but I think there is a market, but it's not like people who want to learn how to do it. It's collectors.
Okay.
I think it's primarily collectors.
Fair
So
enough.
there are people who collect everything Minecraft, right? But then also there are people who collect books, and it's a giant market, and I think that those two surely intersect.
Probably true.
I think it would be really cool to have a book like from within the universe, from within Minecraft, but not something that is addressed to you as a player, but something that is written for someone else in the game, like a villager writing to a villager.
I mean, in a way of okay, I see what you're saying. I really like the way the end mode is presented. Like, I mean, it's obviously not directly Minecraft related. It's kind of just like a thing that came up, right?
Yeah.
But the like concept of, you know, there is a lore to this game. Like, this game is more than just what is literally in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of I don't know whether I prefer it or not, that the end poem is one of the few examples of the game telling you that there's some hidden lore that you can uncover by thinking about it. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's I think the problem lies in the fact that it's kind of hinting at the lore, but then there is within the game there is nothing more than that hint, right? It would be nice if it was a hint, like there is those entities that talk about people who play the game and who see everything that's in the world, etc. But then there isn't anything like that in the game, so it would be fun if it's like another dimension, the fourth dimension, and so, or maybe if it was a dialogue of people from the end. Not sure how that would work.
I mean, maybe. I think it is kind of unique and jarring that the end poem exists. Like in a game where you've spent the whole game, doing things. For most people, it's been like, here's a set of instructions, just followed, like almost like it's a more conventional video game.
Yeah.
And then the end poem is suddenly like completely breaking the law. You're playing this game, and there's like a world out there
Yeah.
that has equal experiences to offer, and whatever.
Yeah. I think it's a nice touch in that sense that it's like it is the end of the game, right? The game ends here and the world starts here.
Yes. I mean, I do find it a little disappointing that but I guess it comes from, if you don't play Minecraft before, you play other games, right? You have a big sort of game sense of what the end of the game is. And for most people, that's the credits. And so when Oliver set himself the goal of like, I'm going to play through Minecraft, he said, well, I'll stop when I reach the credits. I know there's credits.
Yeah, but then there is more to the game. Yeah.
Sure. There's more to the game. I mean, he did explore some more of it, just kind of by coincidence. But he stopped when he reached the end. Like he saw the end credits and he's like, I've reached my goal. I've beaten the game. Like, and there were lots of things he hadn't found yet.
Yeah, it's possible to reach the end without actually like experiencing the game fully.
Sure. I mean, there's lots of things he didn't find. He saw an ocean monument, but I'm not sure he ever got mining fatigue. He saw the Guardians got hit by them and was like, I'm going home.
I think he got jump scared. Yeah, but yeah, he got mining fatigue. Okay. Yeah, but then he didn't conquer it, right?
Sure. Yes.
He never saw a sponge.
For him, it wasn't in his. He didn't want to conquer things. Like you could see it in the when he found. I don't know if you found the mansion, right?
Yeah.
So in the part where he finds the mansion, where he immediately goes, oh, I like this is just scary. Get me out. Like I just want to burn this thing down. And as a result, he misses like the wall rooms and all those things. Where if you like fight your way all the way through the thing, then you kind of get to find all these little hidden rooms.
Yeah, the giant cat. Yeah. I think it's kind of strange. Maybe again, it's the way Mojang has always been doing it. So it's like they announce something to the whole public. Even Notch, he announced on the forum what was added. Yeah. Before adding them, so so you would know that there is something.
The change log is that, right?
Yeah, the change log.
A list of changes. It includes a preamble and generally an article to go with it that like hypes up the features of the update. Right?
Yeah, but also you get the whole show, right? Nowadays you get the whole show where people are dressed as the mansion. I don't know. Yeah, but it's like it's the way it works. Yeah. So in general, it's not a problem for Minecraft, but it would be for pretty much any other game. If you want to start a new game and you don't have the audience who expect you to do that, it would be strange to introduce features and not present them in any way.
I wonder what percentage of people, and I feel like it has to be a really small percentage, play Minecraft. Even if they don't play through it, they start playing the game with absolutely zero idea of what the game is.
I think nowadays it's like if you haven't watched some popular TV series, avoiding spoilers or even watching it without some kind of understanding of what the series is about is difficult.
Sure. I mean, in the particular case of Minecraft, right? To most people, I don't think there's much of a like outreach. Like the people who start playing Minecraft are one of two people generally in the modern way of doing the Minecraft marketing. Either it's young people who have been told, or not necessarily young, people who have been told that it's a good game by other people, and they get sort of roped into playing it either together or on their own, right? Or it's like they do these outreach programs where they use Minecraft to like plan what some Somalian village is gonna, like what they're gonna build, how
Yeah.
they're gonna like design the Somalian village, and then there's some architects look at it and they go, these are some ideas that people really want to maybe implement what people think is most magical.
Yeah.
And in neither of those cases do you end up with someone who's never played the game before playing it as though it's as though it's a conventional game.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible because it has become a part of a giant culture, or at least there is a giant piece of culture around it. So it would be difficult even to download it. You would have to go to the Minecraft.net website, and you would see a lot of what the game has to offer.
It rivals Tetris, right? That's the whole thing. It's like the most downloaded game, or what's second to Tetris or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I don't think there's anyone who you could find who would go, oh, I want to, who knows anything about video games, who would go, oh, Tetris, I'll play that blind. Like so publicly aware of what the concept of Tetris is that I don't think anyone can ever start playing Tetris with no idea what.
In that regard, sure, you could play Minecraft blind without knowing like most of what the game has to offer, but you would still know it's a blocky game. There is survival. There is like stuff like that.
Even Oliver knows that it's a game about building houses, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not a. And an interesting query I have is if you've got someone who's actually never heard of Minecraft before in any capacity, and you put them down in the world, do they build a house? Like that's not something you do in other games. You just explore. In a lot of open world games. So like, is that what they do? Like Oliver did that. I mean, he built a little house, but then he immediately got in his boat and just started wandering around in the ocean looking for stuff.
I think the game kind of prompts you to do that because there are monsters at night, and
That's true.
you need some kind of safety, right? You maybe not a house, but some like, hiding hole would be the first thing you would do probably when you realize that you cannot fight them in the first night.
Yeah, that's true. You probably haven't made a sword until you realize there are monsters, and they don't spawn in the day, so you may not notice that until nighttime falls. At which point it's kind of too late to
So
make a sword.
that would lead you probably to some concept of a house, right? Having
that kind of leads into a yeah, go on.
Having a hidey hole is just the first step to building a bigger hidey hole, and then you're a hobbit and you have a house.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I think this kind of leads nicely into the question of is that experience of blocking in, like Oliver had this thing of I can stand on a 2-block pillar. That's like breaking the game. I'm completely shattering the game into pieces when I do that. I'm abusing all the mechanics of the game to get there. Whereas for most players, that's just like completely it's a non question. Like if you can build that tower, you build it.
Yeah.
It's not really a.
Yeah, I think so. Digging a hole is much more natural for a human than standing on a pillar, right? You don't do that in real life. If you are in a forest, right? If you're in the wilderness, you would probably either dig a hole, or you would build something. You would definitely not stand on a pillar. or some kind of isolated elevation. Yeah, it doesn't. So it's unique to the way Minecraft works, right? It's not something that's in the world, right? You don't do it in real life. So I think the game maybe unintentionally, but leads you to building a house.
Sure. I mean, I don't build houses, but that's that's the consequence of something else.
I would argue you don't play survival. Well, not
Oh,
not
yeah, I
not
don't.
not in a sense of the difficulty, right? As a game mode, yeah.
Sure, sure.
Survival is not your concern.
It definitely comes from speedrunning. Like, one of the things that got me back into playing the game a lot was starting to do RSG speedruns.
Yeah, in that sense, I really like that you can play. So your goals can be very different from reaching the credits, right? Or surviving. I saw I saw a video of a speedrun, like the 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 goal was to get killed by a villager, right? So
Yes.
how fast can you do that?
Most people who do RSG, when they find a seed for some random category, they do the random category.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Sure. There's like all sorts of random ones, like craft a bell. There's a funny one. What's it called? The piston machine or something, I think is the name of it. But it's you get a sheep in a boat, craft a piston, craft a lightning rod, and do the old end rod trick with the piston machine.
Oh, yeah. But
as childish as that is, you know.
Yeah, I can see how how it would become popular. Yeah, but there are a lot of different ways of playing the game, and you can kind of decide on your own goals and decide on your own limitations, which is nice because not every kind of sandbox game does that or allows for that. But you can say something like, I have a very limited amount of items, and I have a very ambiguous goal, like the true one block challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to mention that.
But that's an achievement in my eyes. Even coming up with that, because it requires you to know the mechanics fairly well, right?
So
to come up with that.
I actually came up with it before the first big YouTube series that did that took off. I couldn't quite do the first trick. I couldn't quite cover the first hurdle, which was how do I get more than one block. But I knew that with some chest, at one point I made a chest of one single inventory, 27 items. I think it was less, it was 25. 25 items, and with those 25 items, if you spawn on a single block of grass, you can beat the entire game all at once. At a technical. And of course, you could still do that with the one block jump. But there's something more interesting about the fact that you start with literally nothing.
Yeah. So it's a question of how far can you push it, right? Like it used to be this L-shaped island and a chest and a tree, but then now it's just one block. Nonsense, right?
Exactly. I mean, the one block is a bit of a lie. It will take, if you play organically, it will take more than your lifetime to get the Wandering Trader to give you something.
Sure, and yeah, it requires you to kind of restart the game every time.
Yeah. Over and over reset just before the trader spawns so that you
can... Same with the shovels, right? You wouldn't you
I mean,
you wouldn't even get the trader.
Conceptually I could do that. People only do it because there's other things that you kind of have to do that save state manipulation. that's why it's sort of become permissible to do it for the shovels. But at some level, like, you could feasibly get the snow, like, with shovels as it was without having to be too messy. Like, you could do it in I don't know, take months.
Yeah, sure.
But you could get that far.
I kind of want to see a person dedicate like 2 or 3 years to complete some ridiculous challenge in Minecraft. But I want to see it in like 20 minutes.
Oh, obviously. I'm not watching. Okay.
I'm not watching the series.
Thing, but only because I watch everything in double speed. So it's a 6-hour body.
Yeah, but then again, it's like for me it kind of depends on the mood. So I usually watch Oliver with like just a normal speed, but then maybe sometimes it's kind of I can do double. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, when he's just like collecting something or whatever, it's not really.
Yeah, but I think for me it's like it's doesn't even. It depends only on my mood, not on the content.
Fair enough. I definitely have some bad behaviors that I've developed in regards to watching things at fast speed. Like, for example, the day I watched one of my lectures at 4 times speed. Like something where every second is new content. But
yeah.
It's the kind of thing where to read one slide takes a minute, and I can absorb the information in the slide in 15 seconds if I'm note taking. Like, I mean, I'm obviously not spending as long thinking about the subject matter, so generally I have to look over my notes as a result. But I much prefer looking over my notes to watching a 40-minute video.
I think it's kind of I think a philosophical problem that I often think about is like to get the material well, you need to spend a lot of time on it usually with learning, and but then I think you will probably understand the material better if you have a general idea of it, like complete, right? So if you
that's what I spend more of my time doing. I think when I'm studying material, like I spend much more of my time sort of thinking about and trying to understand exactly how something works, even if that's not in the course. Just because, like, that's how you like develop a conceptual understanding.
Yeah, I think that there is a giant value in having kind of a full general, even generalized picture first, and then kind of diving into details. But that's not how it usually goes with learning, right? If you are learning a language, right, you start with probably learning some useful simple words or phrases, like how are you, hello, mother, father, etc. And then like each, maybe not even each lesson, but you get different topics, like grammatical topics that you learn and try to kind of implement, instead of having like a general overview that okay, there are these different categories and they work in general like that, they interact like that with one another, and then you can learn the details. But then how would you ever conceptualize it, right? You wouldn't understand what you're being told unless you have some experience using these kind of details. So it's a problem. I think
it's quite hard to say.
I think it's like you should learn details and then generalize, and then learn details and then generalize constantly.
Sure. I feel like the most effective kind of learning is narrativizing something.
It's an interesting idea.
The things that have stayed the most in my head are the things where someone basically told a story to communicate this idea.
That's one of the techniques. So I used to be into mnemonics, and
Yep.
me and my brother, we used to play this kind of game where we would create lists of words, just random words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, doesn't matter, and you would, so if we played together, I would read you this list twice of like 50, 60 words. You would have to repeat them in order after hearing them once or twice.
That's interesting.
And there is a technique, of course.
And what would be this?
The technique would be, as you said, narrating a story. So you would connect each pair of words, like consecutive words, through some kind of ridiculous image or story. They would form a story at the end. But it had to be ridiculous because otherwise you wouldn't remember it. So that's the exercise. You would kind of, how can I combine these two words into an image or a story that I can remember?
Yes.
And it seems like something that shouldn't work. Even if you are doing it at the moment, it feels like I shouldn't be able to remember that, but you do. Of course, you don't remember it in like 2 weeks, but
2 weeks, obviously.
yeah, that's not the goal, because in 2 weeks it's like you had 7 of these challenges, all with different words. But yeah, I think in that sense, telling a story is a nice way, because there is a progression that you can follow. It's understandable. It's not just random stuff. It's you get from point A to point B. But it requires some structure to what you're telling. But I think everything has structure as long as you understand it. If you know your subject, you can kind of see the structure probably. I wonder what exactly is the kind of the difficulty difference between the levels of the raids. Like how many?
The levels of Bad Omen. Okay, so it's approximately, you can sort of approximate it as, you get half an additional raid wave per level.
Oh, I see.
And you smear a little bit more. So with like level 1, you have no evokers, but on level 2 you start getting evokers in the back of the things. In fact, the most important thing in how hard a raid wave is actually the difficulty in Minecraft. It's not the raid wave, not the raid complexity.
Yeah, I understand. So it's we are playing on hard. That's why they are harder than they would be on normal.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a bigger factor than if I drank a pot with level 2 or level 3.
Yes. Even with level 5, you're even a level 1. I think it might be close. Level 1 versus level 4. Level 1 on hard definitely wins over level 4. 100% sure. I think level 5 might be slightly more raid mods.
Do we have any Vokers left? I don't think so. At least not.
I killed 3. I have 3 totems.
Okay. I generally try to kill the Vokers first. They cause the most problems. Oh,
and then you get time before the wave ends to get vexed and kill.
yeah. It's time efficient, yeah. Someone in the boat? Probably. Yeah, guy in the boat. I like that he can't shoot me. Like, it's so stupid.
That's because he's pathing to the middle. But yeah.
Do you need totems? Okay. I think in general it's nice to have totems. Just in the under chest.
Okay, sure.
Oh, there's an Invoker and a Ravager.
Ravager?
Yeah, horrible combo.
Heal first.
I don't like those moments when you have not enough saturation to
Heal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was focusing on that guy. Managed to snipe him. Yeah. I like it when Johnnies are on Ravagers. They don't shoot, they don't cause any problems.
I like how you call them Johnnies. I will say that is probably one of the funniest features in the game.
Yeah. I think all the renamed mobs, like the special renamed mobs, are funny.
Oh my god, what? He has fire aspect. Johnny has fire aspect. What the hell? Maybe it was a Vex. I don't think you can get fire aspect on an axe.
Cheater.
I will say it is still funny to me that there was a few updates where you could get protection for 3 times on a single piece of armor from the skeleton horse riders. So you get triple the protection for that.
You probably couldn't get it because they would kill you.
I mean, yeah, people just made farms for it though.
But yeah.
But yeah.
I get it.
I mean, it's rare for something to generate with multiple protections. Like, even if it was possible, it's rare. But... I don't know. I do feel like that is that horses getting struck by lightning turns into skeleton riders is kind of a poorly designed feature.
Why?
Maybe a really good question. Let me see if I can kind of put it into words. Oh, he's in the hole. Yeah. No, it's ahead. Never mind. I don't know where he is. Start. That's a good idea. Nope. He's out of range. Probably back at the start. Anyway. Why do I think those are a bad feature?
It's here. Found him. Is it like I think maybe because it's not, so it's kind of unrealistic to expect it from the game naturally. Horses don't really get struck by lightning.
But also, if I've like cleared an area of mobs, like I make a spawn-proof base and I put a horse in my house. I don't know. Adding the addition of lightning rods is kind of, I guess that kind of helps. But the fact that things could randomly happen because lightning struck some mob that
I see, yeah.
damaging to my ability to play the game. Felt really bad because those skeleton riders can't despawn. Like if you're so undergeared that you can't fight them, you can't deal any damage to them before they shoot you. Particularly if you're a beginner player or something like that. There's nothing you can do. Like
Yeah.
your horse is struck by lightning. Not only is your horse now completely gone, the horse you had, whatever stats it had, gone, but you now have to keep fighting these skeleton riders to even get the skeleton horses. They don't despawn, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's like... by the way, I found this shulker box. Is it yours by any chance?
Nope.
It's strange. It was...
Whoever needs it doesn't need it anymore, let me put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's kind of...
Sure, that's right.
It's basically garbage, yeah. Yeah.
Unless Charlie really wants the course dirt, I think...
I don't think it was Charlie. It was on the...
Sure it wasn't.
The shulker box that's the Zaka's shulker box, the Slime King shulker box. So it was on the there. I'm not sure. I don't think Zaka was online. He said something like, "Sorry, I haven't been online for a long time," something like that.
But that might mean he is coming online. I don't know.
Yeah, I just haven't seen him.
I mean, he did trigger the mechanism. We know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I just assume maybe it was yours. But then again, we have like double chests of shulker shells. So whoever needs a shulker box has it.
No, it's definitely not a problem. I think I do like the way that shulker boxes currently exist in the edition. That's one of the really well-designed features. Like, we can complain about the fact that the inventory is too small, but I think it would be way more of a problem if you couldn't put items in and out of shulker boxes. Like, if you didn't have that additional compacting inventory.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I like that it's not a backpack where you can just reach in. Then people can use it.
Yeah. I like I think shulker boxes inside of vendor chests are just an awesome kind of addition or an awesome combo.
Oh yeah, well I don't know. I'm almost sort of unsure on that because there was a whole thing. I don't know. I think Zuma was one of them to sort of take note of it, which is how do you optimize that space? Like, how do you get as much variety? It's a bit like the thing where you had with limited choice. You go to the end, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere you are in the world, you want to be able to access as much as possible. So there was a whole like theory behind how do we maximize that space, and I don't think it got finalized. I don't think it really got solidified before shulker boxes came along.
I think it still exists with shulker. So what do you put in your shulker boxes, right? How do you manage that space?
Sure, that's true. But
it's
still,
the same
even
problem.
then, I think it's not like nobody's putting saplings in there instead of oak planks because they think that, you know, in a pinch they'll be able to get the oak planks. Like they just put the oak planks in there. I don't think anyone's thinking twice about doing that, right? Or oak logs, whatever.
Probably. I remember I had like a the whole system of color-coded shulker boxes with everything that I could probably have needed there. Yeah, and I think there is a limitation, but also you don't expect to have access to all your resources from an ender chest, right? So you just put something that either you really want to be able to access in a pinch, as you said, or something that you use often. And I think the inventory space is enough there. So, but then again,
It's kind of an interesting case study for the all advancement speedrun. We play with just 2 shulker boxes. We can store everything you need to get every advancement in just 2 shulker boxes, essentially, and completely empty. And obviously, as you run through the game, you collect a few extra items like the brewing ingredients and stuff. And that slowly fills up the shulker boxes. But at the same time, you're using up your breeding ingredients. So as time goes on, your shulker boxes stay pretty consistent. You only need like 2. So it's kind of an interesting part, then you it's kind of interesting that you can fit everything you could need into that. But again, I don't know if that's everything you need. I guess you could run things, right?
Yeah, it all depends on what you actually want to do with the game. Since the game is a sandbox, you have different goals for different players. So two shulker boxes for advancements, or maybe 17 shulker boxes for building, or just some random stuff that you always forget.
Yes.
Like I have my utilities box with like leads and flint and steel, because I always forget them, and they are usually needed not when I was preparing to have them, right, without notice.
Yes.
I think it's just a nice quality of life thing. Yeah.
Utilities is the one box that I tend to play.
I think
It's
it's
a box where I put tools and buckets, because you don't
yeah.
always use a bucket or shears. Or
Yeah,
a hoe.
but you need them sometimes. Yeah.
So you just say, yeah.
I tend to always carry a shulker box. Oh, sorry, an ender chest with me. It's like some people can't leave home without like a credit card or a phone or something like that, or smartwatch. And
I don't think it's quite that ingrained in my habit, because I play a lot of early game where you don't have an entry chest, so you're never thinking about that.
yeah, I think I don't play.
Definitely when you get into the late game.
Yeah, I don't really play much early game, so it's like I don't really play a lot of single player, I think. So for me, most of the experience of Minecraft in the kind of later years, not counting the 4-year gap between seasons, it was Koaland, so it was pretty much always late game. But then,
I mean, I think
yeah, it's fun to start a new world, as I've discovered recently.
I mean, I think the last time I played a single player world just as like a single player, so would have been 2021. I think I have very low motivation to do things on single player. And the main reason that I even played that at the time is because they just added like 1.13 with shipwrecks and stuff.
Yeah.
So my I was newly exploring, finding shipwrecks and bringing all the loot home and putting it in a chest. And I think I built my base inside a shipwreck.
That sounds fun.
I vacuumed out a shipwreck and just built a house.
Yeah, for me, Update Aquatic was exactly when Koaland felt like really fun and really fresh. Not that it doesn't feel fun and fresh now, but it's kind of something that, you know how some updates are like, you could do something better, or I don't really like it, or something like that. But it felt like the Aquatic update was kind of overall a really good update.
Well, I think one thing that contributed is definitely the fact that it came right after a drought. There was a lot of people 1.12 came out and then no information. It was kind of the last scheduled update that Microsoft had sort of come up with in lots of people's vision. And so there was a really I don't know, I'm not exactly sure, it felt like a year or two, where Minecraft didn't get any updates at all. And a lot of people were saying, oh well, Minecraft is dead. It's not coming back from this.
Yeah.
But then they released 1.13 and it sort of coincided with people having to go inside to work and that kind of stuff. And the result was basically that you suddenly had a wave of people coming back to Minecraft to play it, even though it had become a completely different game in some regard. But maybe that's why people played it, right? Because there was new things to find and explore.
Sure, yeah, but that's the case. Well, it's kind of always a new game because again, coming back to the uh, guy who made me interested in Minecraft. So when he was playing 1.2.5, he said something similar like, a lot of people say that all these new blocks and new stuff it's too much for Minecraft. Minecraft is not the same, but I don't feel like that. I kind of like it. But then you look at that and you think it was 1.2.5, like pre pre new gen, pre caves, pre aquatic. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
it was just
I mean, nobody.
grass and
Yeah, it
stone.
didn't
Yeah,
feel like. I mean, for comparison, like that is what we sort of quintessentially think of as like that's just before Minecraft started getting big. Like,
yeah,
I think for a lot of people, that's like that's the kind of the start of Minecraft, right?
yeah.
Um,
I remember feeling like I hated all the new stone variations, like the
yes,
like all of them
direct
because
granite.
yeah, I thought like they're just clutter in my inventory, like they don't have any use. But then yeah, I of course I got used to them and grew to love them. Not the diorite, of course.
I mean, I think diorite and granite both looked totally crap before Jasper
Well,
got new ones.
yeah. The
Right.
initial textures were
I don't think they
kind
were
of awful.
usable.
Yeah,
I mean, they were usable, but not really.
I
I will
think
say it's kind of interesting. I strongly associate 113 with modern Minecraft, even though it's before the texture changes. Like
113. Yeah.
Codic, yeah. I, I really, it feels like modern Minecraft in terms of the features and stuff. But it's before the texture changes. So when you look at it just as a game, you go, "Oh, that's like old Minecraft." But obviously it's not. Like
Yeah.
the textures weren't changed yet. Um,
I remember playing a lot of 1.10 because that was the version where like you had mods and everything, right? Like
yes.
it was probably the most modded version. Even
I mean, it was also a very kind of letdown version, right?
yeah, sure, but yeah,
We got like two features: polar bears, husks, and that was and and magma flots. It's like, well,
yeah.
who wanted this?
As an update, it was kind of meh, but as a version, I think a lot of people would feel nostalgic about it because kind of
Sure.
that's when a lot of kind of a lot of people didn't want to update to 111 because of that, because it would be incompatible with all the mods, and there were a lot of them. Like
Yes.
I remember, for example, there was a mod called Witchery. Not sure if you know that.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of it.
yeah, it's I think it was kind of there was an attempt to remake it, but it was discontinued a long time ago. So for uh, but then yeah, it had like new flowers, new trees, and they like you could make a broom and fly on it, and a witcher's hat, and brew potions and draw magic circles. So it was fun, to me at
Yes.
least. But again, it wasn't. I think on I played it in 1.10,
Yes.
and like the first Skyblock Factory ish mod pack, like Project Ozone. I don't remember which version it was. Probably 112. Now that I think about it, but maybe 110. It sounds like a 110 thing, but it was fun.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, one thing. There's kind of an equivalent thing in the technical Minecraft community, which is like it primarily came from SciCraft, which probably still is the biggest like technical server, right?
yeah,
Or most well known. And they didn't update when 113 came around. They went, "We're not updating. The flattening is happening. Like we can't do half of the things that you can do do in 112.
Yeah.
It's a bit like they removed TNT tubing. They obviously didn't do that. Well, they did. We had to stop using coral things. But they like changed a lot of how the game worked, and particularly the internal stuff where you could like a lot of the RNG manipulation stuff just doesn't work. And the technical Minecraft community was like, there's nothing of value in 113. Like, why should we leave 112? And most of them didn't update until 116 came. Like,
Yeah. So
I don't
yeah,
know,
I think that there are features, and it's one thing to add new stuff, like you add dolphins and everyone's happy about it. But then if you
sure.
change how the internal mechanics work, or change something else that people really like in the game, that's when it becomes kind of people start to think that it's not the same.
So should Minecraft be rebalanced? Should Mojang be making changes that change the way the game works fundamentally? Should they be like, air quotes, removing features?
I think yes. Well, I think that new versions come out and then you find new ways to break the game, right? It's kind of how it's always been.
I mean, we just got skull face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's existed for 2 years.
Yeah. So it's not like it's gonna be a dull experience for technical people.
Yes.
So I think the benefit is much greater than the downside. So you get something new, right? You get variety, because
Yes.
if the game stays, it's like, obviously I can go now and download any version of the game, play it if I like it, but then I don't want to, really. I might say something like, oh, 110 is an awesome version, it's like the best, and everything else was downhill. But then for some reason I don't stay on 110. I download the newest version, maybe not the newest, but
Sure.
the newest release.
There's a little bit of like feeling as if it's not real Minecraft.
Yeah, like if changes happen, yeah.
Experience TM is not 110.
Yeah, there is this feeling. It's the same as probably if you play single player only, you can just edit your textures, and you don't even need a texture pack. You can just edit your textures and have like the rarest cape or even unique cape, but that's not the same, right? Visually, sure, that would be the same, or maybe the experience of using it would be the same because it's single player, but that's still the feeling of authenticity is what's valuable, is what's satisfying. So yeah, in that sense, the newest version is appealing.
Should Minecraft cater to its whole community or the vocal part of the community? Like, there are lots of people who play Minecraft like on Realms, and I don't think they really care what happens to the game in some respect. But you know, I'm sure they have opinions about features and stuff. They just don't say anything, right? They're not a vocal part of it. Do you think Minecraft should try to cater for people who don't make their voice heard?
That's an interesting question, because how would you know their opinion, right? Or do you kind of it's like if people say,
it's hard to know what they're...
if people say what they want, do they really want it, and does it make the game actually better? So when it comes to the vocal part of the community, if you open Minecraft feedback, you will see a lot of suggestions from people who are very vocal, and a lot of them are upvoted, and I don't think Mojang should necessarily implement all of them. It shouldn't be a democracy. It shouldn't be a voting system where the community decides where the game goes. I don't think that would be best for the game, because usually the community, there are some excellent ideas in the community, but a lot of the voices would go to
I mean, it
something
becomes
that's
it
not
becomes a
nonsense.
sure, it becomes a popularity. Right?
Yeah,
There's other sort of systems where you can have not dysfunctional kind of. You ask people a question and then see what they all do, and then you try and come up with the thing that satisfies the most people. But for things where it's like, let's change something that's kind of, I mean, every change you make in Minecraft changes the way the game is played in a very distinct way if it's of any importance.
yeah.
And the result of that is essentially that if I like wanted something to change, let's say Mumbo Jumbo comes up tomorrow and says, I really want the piston push limit to become 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure lots of people would go, oh, you can do so many extra things with 14, and you could convince lots of people to believe that that's better. But it's definitely the fact, like it's a pretty clear fact that, you do have to kind of appreciate the game design to actually be able to have a reasonable voice on it. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit like high of me. Maybe I'm sort of selecting myself by saying, I've considered the fact that limitations are what create the game. So,
Yeah, but I think that's true. So
my belief that we shouldn't make it 14 is better. But,
yeah. I'm sure not everyone shares this belief, but I do, and I think that a lot of kind of it's natural for people to ask for the removal of limitations, but then when you do that, the game becomes boring. It's like you have to experience that.
I would love a way to farm diamonds. But,
Yeah.
But I obviously don't want it to be the case that, I'd love to go and be in the process of designing a diamond farm, come up with all these mechanisms. Maybe not diamonds, because we have diamond tools. But if we didn't have the ability, like a netherite farm, let's say, I mean, you can do them, but not easily. Let's say we had some mechanic that renewably gives us netherite, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if I look at that thing of like a renewable way to get netherite, and I like feel, at a qualitative level, I feel like it's a good idea. It's something I get to design a new farm, and then we can like come up with all these new ways that we can use that renewable netherite to like construct all these things, make distribution systems and stuff, and like theory craft how you can do stuff with it that you couldn't do before, whatever. There's all these frontiers, but then at the same time it's pretty obvious that if you had a netherite farm, the value of netherite wouldn't exist, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that, in general, a lot of people would vote for the removal of limitations where it should be imposed. So you shouldn't listen to the majority in that sense, but I think it would be the majority. But then, with some limitations removed, you can still be creative with it. But I think that in Minecraft currently, we probably could have more limitations even, because it's easy to get to the end game, right? Minecraft in that sense isn't a grindy game, right? You can grind in it, but you can easily avoid it.
Villages a thing? Like, let's ignore the other implication. If we just delete the mob villager from the world, does that solve problems relating to get to the end game pass? Or is there some other underlying problem of like some way to kind of make it easy to get to the end game?
I think if the problem is only that you get to the end game fast, then yeah, it solves the problem. But the problem is that it's kind of, easy to become bored. That's the problem. One of the symptoms, or one of the reasons maybe for it is the ease of getting all the gear, but maybe
I guess maybe that's a completely different question. Like, is the 2-week cycle the right length of time? Like, hypothetically, there will always, no matter what you do, come a point where you've done everything there is to do in the game, like
Yeah.
at a sort of superficial level, such that people don't have the motivation to play the game.
Yeah.
Like, by changing these things, are you just making it longer than 2 weeks? Like, how long should it be? Like,
that's a good good question, because I think the only way to break the cycle would be to kind of set your own goals. So you use Minecraft as a sandbox, because otherwise it's just
sure,
yeah.
is there a way to motivate people to do that?
I think it has to be. I don't think you can motivate people to do that. It's either like an inner desire to do it, like you just yourself want to do it, or you can not motivate but inspire people. I think so. People start playing when they get inspired, right? It's not like, let's do it, we can do it together, and it will be awesome. That doesn't really work. But if the person sees something awesome and wants to be a part of it, or wants to kind of replicate it, that works. But then it's also a question of can you get inspiration reliably? Do you have the skill to make yourself inspired? And I think it is a skill.
I mean, it's a bit like you and other people on Koaland, you like have motivation to do art, and I get these like things where I see something and I go, it would be cool to make an artwork. So then I sit down and I kind of make one artwork, but I'm not like doing artworks forever. I just make one and then don't touch it until I come up with another idea.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's a like similar thing of maybe you shouldn't be playing maybe Minecraft shouldn't be about I mean, I guess that's what creative mode is saying we no longer have a survival game, like it's literally just
Yeah.
you build something cool, right? Which is what the end game becomes.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's a shortcut to the end game. But yeah, I think it's just a different experience, or a different way to experience not experience, but to express your creativity. Like, you can be creative in the sense of, like, I want to overcome this challenge of the survival game, like building some difficult farm, or completing a trial chamber, or whatever. This challenge only works in survival because you need limitations to do it. But creative is just like, can I, using all the resources that there are in the game, can I make something that's beautiful, or works, fun? Yeah, so the limitations are just broader, but the goal is different, so it doesn't matter. So
Should there be more blocks in the game?
More blocks in the game.
Do we have the right number of blocks?
I think I kind of have a problem with the number of blocks in the game, in the sense of it's a large amount of blocks. I think maybe one way of dealing with it would be, because of course you want new blocks, right? You want change. But then maybe you should kind of get rid of the old ones in some way.
That's an interesting idea. The only problem is it like a bit like the old what is it? The old Word document, old Microsoft idea of like something you make now will be openable forever into the future. Like
yeah.
in that same kind of way, like
backwards
remove
compatibility.
a block, then it
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you make it so that builds people made previously are no longer valid.
yeah, that's a problem. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if it's it.
Mm.
Not sure how one would address that.
How would you? Yeah, I guess it's just like you would have to open it in like compatibility mode.
Okay. What about if I don't know if I like the idea of old builds, but something about
Yeah, maybe not old. Yeah, it's a bad bad
I
order
don't
on
know
my
how
part.
you quantify. Sure.
Yeah, but just
I don't really know how you would
compared to
select
new.
it. I don't know how you...
Me neither. Yeah, it's just
I
brainstorming.
think it definitely has to be a it definitely has to be something where it's like the idea of time is all right, but there's some blocks in Minecraft that are kind of integral to the whole game.
Yeah, sure. Like the grass block would never be removed.
This thing of like I can use this glow icon, but only until Mojang adds another block that kind of plays a similar role but something slightly different. So there's almost like a timer on using blocks to do certain things.
But I feel like it would create this category of like temporal blocks that people would just refuse to use.
Sure, fair enough.
Because there is no benefit, yeah.
Blocks that they're confident no one's...
Yeah. I think there is something to that idea, but it's like it's not fully developed.
Right there.
Yeah, not sure. I think in general, what will probably happen is we will get more blocks, like, and the old ones will not be removed. And also,
I mean,
it's...
I don't think it's too much. I don't know if I quite agree with you on the idea that there's too many blocks. I don't know.
I think maybe...
I think there should be variants of every block. I like the way that copper and woods are integrated.
Ah, yeah.
It's not just like I go into the nether and pick up one block. It's I have all these little variations on that block, and they always work together in a theme. Like
Sure, yeah. It's like still one block,
I think
but
I like
it's...
that.
Yeah.
Sure, like I don't know, oak wood is oak wood, but you know, or except for the block. But if we take the stripped and the regular planks and the stairs and the slabs and fences and so on, like
yeah,
they're kind of the same block in some sense. In that you know the game looks the same whether I'm looking at a piece of like if I look at a house from a distance, it's not clear whether or not there's fences or not. I know there's wood there though.
Yeah, makes sense.
And in that sense, the game still feels simple, but obviously there's lots of little choices you can make.
Yeah, but it's also kind of interesting to think about the fact that it seems like currently Minecraft is spatially expanding. Like they need more space to implement new features. Like they first they changed the world gen, and then they put the like deep dark or ancient cities below below that. So obviously they thought about it beforehand, and they needed the space, and they created more space and put new features. So it seems like they would need more and more space for different stuff, because you can't either you have more space or you kind of disperse the new structures, but that would make, let's say, trial chambers unfindable or some new feature unfindable because there are too many variants. So they would expand space. So the bedrock in our world will become lower at some point. Maybe not soon, because now we have a lot of space.
We have a lot of space.
Yeah. But just in general, that's the trend. But then also, I think that there is one example in Minecraft of an entirely unused but vast space that would be the void between the main island and the outer island in the end.
I mean, I think that exists so that you can't dodge the dragon. Well, that's at least the intention, right?
Yeah, but you can probably not a structure, but maybe a mob. You can put a flying mob. So I've posted that on
Sure.
Minecraft feedback. So I suggested an end moth because it feels like something that you would find in the end. Maybe
Yes.
maybe they have some mechanic in mind that they want to implement with a new mob, and they just need a mob that would be fitting. So
I do think
yeah.
that the void should be dangerous, more dangerous.
So you would make it a hostile mob.
Sure, if you're flying above the void, like, not that your elytra will immediately break, but you know, something might start chasing you, something where you have to like dodge around it or something.
Yeah, that would be fun also. Yeah.
Um, just because, you know, when I'm finding elytra, it's not just like, at the moment the game loop is I get one elytra and then I fly to every city I can find.
Yeah.
And just loop. And I'm basically just flying in a direction with rockets until I find a city. Then I go fly up to the ship, take the elytra, and leave. Like, I don't even engage with the rest of it. And I think maybe even just flying in the end. Like, there should be some, like, it's cool to be able to fly in the overworld. You should be able to do that in the end. Or there should be some risk to it. That means I shouldn't risk flying in the end. Like, because I think even the early part of like end exploring is the part that's most fun.
Yeah, and Boston is not as fun. Yeah.
Particularly because you don't have to work your way up to the ship, but I guess you can always pillar up to the ship.
Yeah, it seems a bit robotic or a bit like a routine, not exploration.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not. I do like the map that they're doing along with the villages.
Yeah, like you can patch some up and you know at least where you go, and it feels like an adventure. Even like
Yeah, exactly.
even having a map. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I prep my gear. I put it in a chest. You know, I know where I'm going. I know it's like a far way away because I've got a little dot. It's like relatively close because I've got a middle-sized dot. And I decide what resources I'm taking with me. I like put them in my inventory. Maybe I get a friend. You know, we then go and follow this map, which is a pretty trivial task, I think.
Yeah, but it's like, for me,
you don't need to be that competent to use it.
It feels like a map is an archetype of adventure. Right? There is this quality of like.
I mean, I obviously imagine the word adventure when I'm doing it, but yes.
Yeah. So it's like closely.
I mean,
if it was.
Or adventure is a map.
Yes. If it was something else, maybe if it was like a compass that points you to the direction, that wouldn't work as well. Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, that's a good idea. Should the echo compass that points to your last death location, is it too useless as is, or is it worth potentially turning it into a map?
I don't think it should be a map, simply because, well, I don't really understand how it would work as a map, because a map at a long distance is.
Like on Buried Treasure.
But yeah, what if it's like underground, right? You can't have underground maps, or it's.
With a compass either.
Yeah, sure, but compass visually. Yeah, I understand that a map is basically a fancy compass in Minecraft, but you don't often, probably more often than not, you don't need the visual component, because you die in caves or in the nether or in in a scenario where map is kind of, it shows you nothing, so it's just a compass.
I mean, I guess for any of it to make sense, you need to remove what it is. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
For that item to make sense in its current form, or really in any form, I think you can't have coordinate systems.
Would you want for the coordinates to be hidden, like for you not to be able to see them or access them in any way.
Okay. I think I would be happy with that, but only if there was some other way of navigating. Like, I don't mind the waypoints as a concept. Like, not having a map, but like I can set a waypoint down somewhere, and then when I open a map, I can somehow interact with it to put the direction that the waypoint would be on that map, or something, or even a compass. Like the lodestone is very expensive. Like if the lodestone was really cheap, maybe that would be a
Hmm.
like you can in the current way Minecraft is coded, there's a game rule called and you could just switch that off. But I think it's very hard to play, particularly in a multiplayer world where you don't know where everything is. It's really hard to communicate those locations.
Yeah, I think I kind of, in my memory, I go back to the time where I played without the coordinates. Obviously, it's not the first thing you learn about the game, so in the beginning you don't use them. And you kind of create, or at least I created like systems of useful kind of points for navigation. Like I think everyone does,
Yes.
like compasses or signs with directions and roads, and you create those in the world, not on a map, right? You would just.
Yes.
And back then you I think, I'm not sure there was a map. Probably there wasn't a map. So 1.2.5 probably not. There wasn't a map.
Yeah. Pretty sure. I think maps was updated or something.
Maybe. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you could. It would just fundamentally change the way you perceive orientation in Minecraft, but it can be done, and I think everyone has done it at some point of the game where they just haven't learned about the coordinates yet. It's like we would have to build roads. Like that's kind of another topic. Like people don't really use roads or horses because there are elytras, right? Nothing beats elytra.
Yes.
But if you didn't have coordinates,
Sure.
you probably would either use roads, or at least in the beginning you would definitely use roads, paths. Later maybe just some pillars to help you navigate. So it would be probably, there would be a benefit in just walking instead of flying somewhere, because you would get lost flying.
Sure.
That's a fun idea, that coordinates would kind of force you not to use elytras. Maybe that would be a fun challenge.
I mean, I think the world needs to have almost a modern level of structures for it to make sense. Like, in current Minecraft, there's lots of expanses of nothing in between structures.
Yeah.
And I think if you could, from every structure, it happens a lot in modern. From every structure, you can see another structure. I think that would definitely function. Then I think you can definitely play it as, navigate to this and then this and then this and then this in this kind of rough directions, but this really obvious natural
Yeah.
markers.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge where you are if you are in the middle of the ocean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I
think maybe that is a problem that Minecraft has in general. Of like a lot of things, not ununique, but like.
Yeah, they're not different enough to catch your attention. Yeah, or even differentiate from anything else. Yeah.
I mean, I tend to. I think I've generally developed a relatively good eye for recognizing my position when I'm in a Minecraft world. I've been playing for a few hours, like mostly because you can use coordinates, but it's easier if you know roughly where you are.
Yeah.
Like you can gauge that just by looking at terrain. With speedrunning all advancements. It's like similar, obviously, in the survival world, like on here on Koaland. Obviously, when I was doing speedrunning the advancements, I think I probably memorized the like 1,000 circle around spawn. Like, you put me anywhere there, I can tell you roughly where we are.
Yeah, I think that's just the kind of mindset that it would put you in if you didn't have coordinates, if you didn't just have that option.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Well, the question is, okay, if coordinates are removed, does everybody mod them back into the game?
Sure, yeah. But if they...
Everybody mods them in if we never had them.
It depends. I think if the game uses them, well, of course, in the real life scenario it uses them. But if the game, let's say, never used a coordinate system, I think the game would be different. So the game itself, by being what it is, even if we didn't know about the coordinates, the way the world works would kind of point to the fact that coordinates exist.
Sure, I mean, the generative algorithm does that. Like, there's biases in the way objects get placed during the population phase of an object, which means that things are more likely to generate at chunk boundaries, because if you're close to a chunk boundary, you have a chance to jump into the neighboring chunk, and then so near chunk boundaries, you actually get more structures. You have a bias towards random occurrences at chunk boundaries, but basically everything in the game.
Yeah, but also you get like directional things, right? There are biases in like which way is preferred by hoppers or something like that.
Sure, I mean, that's not something most people would know, but there is definitely, when I was first playing Minecraft, I remember people would talk about the fact that you can use sunflowers or mushrooms to detect which direction north is, and you can use that to navigate. Like, obviously, once you know how F3 works,
yeah, sure. I remember also, yeah. I remember learning about the fact that you cannot rotate all the blocks because it seems like something that Minecraft kind of teaches you, that you can pick a block, rotate it, put it in a different orientation, but then sunflowers or lily pads, especially lily pads, because they are, it seems like, it feels like they are random, right? Like,
yes.
Why is this lily pad looking at it that way? Yeah.
I mean, it's just less noticeable for most blocks because the shape is the same and the pattern is uniform.
Yeah.
For something like netherrack or dirt or grass, you don't notice that every other block is rotated completely random.
Yeah, but then, yeah, if it's like wood, right, you would...
Yes.
It's directional.
Sure.
That's what I mean, yeah. But then I've never noticed, well, probably I've never paid attention to it, that you cannot rotate planks. That's the problem that Oliver had.
Yes.
It's like, why would you rotate planks? Yeah.
You can rotate roof planks now.
Mm-hmm.
Guesses?
Roof planks? Do you mean how you...
plank to my roof, I can change the direction to any direction.
To any of the two, right?
No. Any of the four.
What? Sorry. Yeah. I was thinking about the like the two D. Yeah.
Sure. You can't do that with normal. You can only do it with the bottom of a lectern.
Yeah, but it's like a building trick, right? Like you can use.
Sure. It's a hack.
Yeah. I like how pressure plates and buttons are like the exact same texture as the material, minus 1 pixel around them. Well, for pressure plates. Yeah, the
I do think yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I don't know.
It's like they're
Does
less
it
noticeable.
change the authentic experience of the game that there are not? Like, I know that's something that changed really early on with Minecraft development cycle. Like, the moment Notch contemplated that you could have different block states, he was pretty quick to add, you know, things that weren't full blocks. But is that something that, like, would the game? Is there a better version of Minecraft for everything?
I think from a player experience that would become very kind of boring. You need some variation. So
I think it's too limited. Yeah, it's way too limited.
I think like the essence is still there. So I don't think there is a block or an item in Minecraft that kind of falls out of that kind of blocky aesthetic. I can't think of.
I think that's a sphere, but I mean, I think you've just come to accept a lot of
Sure,
like
maybe.
the corner of a rail, for example, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like here, if I chuck down this, like, I don't think that texture there really looks blocky. If you know what I mean, like the hitbox is blocky.
But it's kind of, doesn't it kind of look like a pick, right?
Yeah, there's a hidden pickaxe.
So it's kind of in that way. It seems like it's justified or even true to the items.
Items are not.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. Items are not blocks, yeah.
So I guess
And,
that kind of the fact that you can drop an item that kind of makes it can do things at a scale smaller than a block.
Yeah, but then surely the player is not blocky in that regard. It's not like made of full blocks, right? So from the very beginning, when you had jumping Steves, yeah.
The Minecraft player model, like Steve player model, looks blocky, whereas an item, like even if it's pixelated, looks not blocky.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's pixelated.
Sure, but the body, the Minecraft Steve body is.
Yeah, it's the Steve model is blocky. You can make it pixelated if you want. Yeah.
You should see my skin from 2 skins ago.
I liked the one with kind of this kind of gradient hair. Let me look it up.
Oh, was that the Pride one? That was probably the Pride one. I copied it from a previous one that had the gradient zero. Yeah, let me wait. What the hell? My Minecraft launcher is saying that a file integral to the game files is missing, and therefore I can't log into my Minecraft account.
Huh.
Or something.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah, I just corrupted my Minecraft instance somehow. No, now it's not. It just like failed to load Xbox for some reason.
Can I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I was talking about that one, which is with the halo, the kind of green outfit. Some of them are classic. Yeah, there was an old skin with the same hair.
Oh,
Just-
what the what the what what fuck sorry for swearing on your stream.
It's fine.
My game, I went to skins and it said, please pick a player name first, and then I go to the home menu and it's like play for the first time, and I'm like logged in.
Huh.
I think it fixed itself. It
Okay.
got very confused. Oh, it's like 6. Memory's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went down to the tunnel bore. Oh, I I just pressed tab.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, you can make it pixelated. Yeah.
I wore this for a few months. It's got half the pixelation of a normal skin, but I gave it a little derpy little mouth that's hidden under the second layer.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
So it's technically not the overred.
I think that's a nice trick with the like one eye, right? Because otherwise it would be one continuous eye.
Right, yeah, obviously. I had to muck around with quite a few things, including the quiver on my back. Which, also, you'll notice that my arms are still slim, so the pixels are half pixels at the edge of the arm.
Yeah.
I actually cheated.
That would be a fun challenge. I don't think maybe I could. It would be a tiny face because I have to have two eyes. That's such an iconic like eyes and
Can I
nose.
see your face quickly? Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough.
Maybe
I don't think it's possible.
it would be a thin nose. Yeah.
Maybe you need to come up with some way of making the eyes smaller though, or making it less than 2 pixels wide, right? Because otherwise
Yeah.
they connect with the same problem.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
You could have curl around the side of the face.
they can be. So the whites of the eyes can be on the inside, and then separated 1 pixel by a nose. I think that might work.
Okay, yeah. I think the nose should definitely go on the second layer, because that way you can put eyes behind it while being able to still see the eyes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll try to do that. I kind of when I was looking through my own skins. I guess I should probably show it. View profile. I'll show it on stream as well, just in case. Maybe for the sake of
I'm sure someone will look at it.
just for the sake of history. So I was looking through my skins, and I think this one is the classic me. I think it even had blonde hair. I don't know why I made him blonde. For some reason I didn't know about the fact that you don't see the outer layer of your skin on tab when the person is far away from you.
Yes.
It was a later knowledge that I acquired. So I guess
Ad skin has that problem at the moment.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
He's missing a nose.
Yes. So yeah, I had the skin thinking that okay, blonde hair doesn't matter. But then I saw it probably on Koaland, and I thought, oh,
Okay,
okay, I should fix it. And so now I have like both layers have the hood.
good. Right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but then I kind of really got used to this skin, and it's kind of yeah, I changed the color every once in a while, and I made the blue
sure.
one for TikTok and uh, uh,
Yeah,
and with the kind of glitchy effect. I really like that effect for some reason. I think the purple skin is
it's
the one I
popular.
described. Yeah, yeah, it's like just transparent outer layer with any color, and you get the kind of
I
neonish
do think
look.
the fact that you can use transparent outer layers and even semi-opaque outer layers is definitely like one of the coolest things that is totally underused. I used it in one of my previous skins.
Yeah, now I kind of use it
Well,
every time except for the
in the
last one.
glitching.
Yeah,
Sure.
the glitched one is like this is probably one of the nicest skins out of my skins, in my opinion. But then
Yes.
uh, I thought I really want to make a skin for that cape, the migrator one, and
Sure.
I did it, and I think it looks fairly well. It's like the golden stripes on the cape kind of match with the ones on the arms. It's kind of as if the
Yes.
skin was made specifically for that cape. I think it works really
Yeah.
well. But then I made the cape the skin for the 15th anniversary MCC cape, and it's so much more vibrant, and because the cape is it has more chroma, it's more saturated,
Yeah.
like a lot more
Yes.
saturated than this one,
It's
and
very saturated.
then the skin is saturated, and that's why the previous skins look kind of dusty
Sure.
in comparison.
I mean,
It's like
they look dull.
yeah, yeah, and it's like new saturation level acquired. I didn't want to initially I didn't want to make a skin that was too saturated. I thought it was kind of gaudy, but yeah, now it's kind of mm, justified by the cape, I guess. And we have uh, 20,700 people with the cape, so it's not sub 20,
Yes.
unfortunately, but still sub 50
That's okay.
definitely. I think now we can definitely say it's sub 50. It's gonna be sub 50. Probably sub 30, unless they're still rolling out the capes.
What's the TikTok cape at? Just one where you had to do some actual effort, because the creeper one you just click the button.
Oh,
The TikTok or the
yeah, I've looked at the TikTok and Twitch ones, and for some reason, I thought at some point the TikTok one was less popular. So it's 157,000 for the TikTok cape and 166,000 for the Purple Heart.
I suspect that you actually
Oh.
are getting half the numbers on TikTok and Twitch, because people only made one new skin to go with, or did make a new skin. They just wore their favorite of the two capes because they came out at the same time.
Yeah, it was the case with my
I mean,
name MC page because it didn't show that I have the Twitch cape.
I
Just
don't think I've ever worn the TikTok one.
I don't think you have it on name MC. Yeah, so probably you haven't. Yeah, um, but yeah, then I just as soon as I noticed it, I just wore it for half a second and put it
Sure.
back. I should probably make a. It would be easier to make a skin for that cape. Maybe even the purple one that I have. It almost works.
It works. Yeah. Need some white.
Yeah, I definitely need some crispier white and maybe stripes or something on the. I kind of don't want to change it too much, but then I think if I just match the purple really well, it would work.
Yeah, probably
or maybe white outlines. Yeah, that's probably it. So now I have golden, but I could make them white. That would work nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Right. I think I'll stop the stream.
Sure.
It's kind of getting long, but yeah. And you're in the.
You've been for 3 hours.
No,
Never mind.
Warden bombs. I like the Warden skin. I'm getting ideas now.
Yeah. I made it when I did the when 119 came out. Like I haven't updated mine in a bit.
I need more thematic
I don't think I've worn
skins again.
I don't think I've worn my normal one in a while. Here was the one where I abused the layers.
I remember making skins for events like Christmas and Halloween, but not for just in-game stuff, which I should
My
do.
goal
Probably.
is once a month at the moment.
Do you draw your skins yourself?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't draw them by hand. I go into Photoshop and I take the skin, my normal skin that I did do by hand, and I edit them. Take some pieces of it, maybe go on the internet, find some pieces I like, and sort of look at what, maybe even pin drop the colors, but like look at what pieces they have and try and remake them, like rechanging the colors on the pieces that I do.
Yeah, same here.
I tend not to steal the pieces outright, but there's a little bit of piece stealing in case.
Yeah, I kind of stole my crown. I just thought it was basically the same as the one on the cape. I like this one. It's like the cool transparency, like.
Yeah, I just saw it on
almost
Name I saw a skin a bit like this that had, I think it was just like 2 colors, but I did it one half my skin, one half was like black. The skin is actually white. If you look on tab when I'm far away, it's just a white.
I see.
Black overlay.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I think it would also work. Yeah.
In fact, it's black and white all the way down. This is the coolest part of this skin. I actually forgot about this. If I turn everything off.
I think it would also work.
There's nothing of mine on this.
It would also work if you're the black half of your outer layer, well, the one that is on the black side, if it was opaque, and the one that kind of shows the skull was transparent or semi-transparent, that would look as if like half of your flash got removed, something like that. Yeah, that's the cape matching one. That's a great match for the cape. That's a job well done. The yeah, it matches really well.
I think I stole a pretty good amount of this. I think I just sort of like the buys, but just like stole that right. Jammed me inside of it.
It's fun. I had troubles with color matching because I didn't want to change the skin too much, and it's my skin is full of gradients, so it would be
yes. So
yeah.
The way, I don't know if you have Photoshop. If you don't, I just use like one of the online Steel ones or GIMP. If you really want, but GIMP doesn't have the same interface, so I tend to use the online one because I like the interface.
Yeah, I have both. Yeah.
Basically, you can select a region by color, and then you can extract the region entirely, put it on a new layer, and then you can use the color adjustment tool to colorize it in a completely arbitrary color.
Yeah.
So then you can select just the red.
Yeah,
that's generally how I approached it.
I do the same, or almost the same. I color pick the color I want, the tint I want, and I just draw on a new layer, and I changed the blending mode to something like color or hue or something like that. And generally,
Yeah.
like in general, it works. It needs some minor adjustments often, but then again with the what was the migratorscape? I think it has different. So the red colors there are different hues. So the lighter ones are more kind of peachy, and the darker ones are like more of a cherry color.
Sure.
This skin reminds me.
You can guess that this.
Yeah, it's a dream. It reminds me of Charlie's skin. She has some skins with this kind of rabbit mask strapped.
Mask
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Similar, but yeah, uh, that's a nice, just overall a nice
You
green
can
outfit.
see who I was watching at the time. Let's put it.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a nice green. Actually, I do really like the color.
I kind of want to see more of his videos about the kind of AR stuff that they did. Yeah, it's like, is it VR? Is it AR? Yeah, it's.
Kind of on the boundary line.
Yeah, because it's kind of reversed.
Modified pieces of it, but in this way,
yeah, it's
whole pieces of reality.
It's reversed AR. It's not augmented reality. It's augmented virtual reality, right? Yeah, I wonder. So obviously, since he spent so much time developing it and obviously put a lot of efforts and money into it, he has some plans for it. It's not just one-time gimmick, I hope. So my.
He said he wanted to do the hunt.
Yeah, but surely he has a lot. I'm sure he has a lot of ideas how to milk it.
Sure.
In a good way, of course. He deserves. It's like it's an achievement, right? It's impressive what he's done. He was able to do.
Cool.
Ah, that's the crest one, right? Ricus.
Yeah, it's Rick's skin. It's not the one that Bob's crest is wearing.
Ah, it's different. Yeah. Why? Why did you call it crest as well?
It's hanging out with Bible at the time.
Ah, I see. It's kind of sad that she doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, but you know, the reason she stopped playing is the same reason that she stopped playing a lot of other games. Like she decided that it was inhibiting her ability to, you know, live a life, and you know, I guess, you know, in the modern world, people kind of think that there's some image of what a life looks like, which, you know, good on her.
Yeah,
she hangs out with her friends. Like,
it's fair.
She doesn't play Minecraft. She's played like Splatoon all the time. Uploads a code now and then.
Yeah, I've managed to even just catch a stream.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was nice to hang out with.
Definitely. Very chill.
I think maybe if Chica played more, maybe then Bible would as well. They seem to get along really well.
Oh. I'm gonna have misplaced my axe. Oh well, guess I'll have to make a new one if I can't find it. Whatever.
We should probably replace the pickaxes and the axe for the netherite one. Right, we have.
Again, I can't hear you cutting out.
Yeah. So we have the custom models. Is it working?
I think it's on your end.
On my end? Huh. Well, not maybe. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, right now, no, no,
Oh, okay. So, I was saying that. What was I saying? Ah, doesn't matter. Yeah.
What were you saying about the pickaxe replacing?
Yeah. So we have the custom models for diamond pickaxes, but we should probably change them for netherite. No one
Oh, it's
uses
like
diamond.
trivially easy to do my one.
Yeah.
We just changed one file. Because mine references them.
Yeah, mine as well. So I think they are structured the same.
Well, mine includes the diamond pick texture.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
It references that file, but it doesn't have its own file, so you should just shout different file.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is the Crezed one at the moment, which Krez tends to take on the skin that I last had, but I sometimes have other people who are playing in my house play on Krezed, so then they have to like change the skin to something they like, and then I have to change it back.
Ah, I see.
So that's why it's this, which was my previous skin. I just saw it on a similar thing with like the black eyes covered, and was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then I made that, but I think it's a bit grunge.
I think it reminds me of Nier. Do you know that game?
I'm not sure.
Nier. I think it's a series of games. I think one of the most popular ones is Nier Automata.
Okay.
It's like kind of open world fighting adventure thing.
Fair enough.
It's one of the games I still have on. I still have access to on PlayStation because it was bought as a physical CD and not a.
Right.
No, yeah, not a subscription. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right. So I'll end the stream here, and then can hang out later. Yeah, that's gonna be it. If anyone's still here, thank you, and see you next time, hopefully.